Hey there, nerds. Jimmy Palmquist here. Let's talk a little bit Star Wars: The Acolyte. Currently, two episodes available on Disney Plus. I've already seen, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. There's so much hate within the Star Wars fandom that it's always disappointing. But I've already seen so many negative comments about this series, and it just started. Literally two episodes. I can understand some of the confusion that's going on. It's a rare instance in Star Wars in this day and age that we do not know what's going on or what's going to happen. A lot of the Star Wars we've seen and then have grown up with since essentially Return of the Jedi, we know the bits and pieces that are going to lead A, B, and C to D. For instance, obviously, when they made the prequels, we knew it all was going to result in this battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin that would create um, Darth Vader and the Obi-Wan Kenobi we know in A New Hope. We knew that was going to happen, very aware of it. But as we got to the new sequels, we had no idea where the story was going to go. And I feel like that's what we're witnessing here with the Acolyte, and people are already upset, and it's silly to me. Let's wait and see how this plays out. Things I do appreciate are the story of the twins, May and Osha. I feel like since we've lost sort of the Legends Star Wars line, we didn't ever get to experiment with Jaina and Jason solo, which was a great dynamic, in my opinion, how they both went their own ways and one basically became evil and one became good. I really like that dynamic, and we're seeing a little bit of that here so far. Obviously, we're two episodes in, and we only really saw one episode with that going on. So I really enjoyed this dynamic of what we're going to see. Now, obviously, the main difference is we um, are seeing the people that guided the twins. And Osha went to the Jedi Academy. Yes, she left, let's say it that way. But she had that education, that training, that background to go with. May, we don't know exactly who this Dark Lord of the Sith is, if that is a Sith, that master, but they clearly were the ones that trained May and utilized that anger and revenge, which is why she's tracking down the Jedi she feels responsible for everything that happened to her and taking them out more successfully than I think would be expected because she's not using a lightsaber or other weapons that typically would be seen as taking out Jedi. But again, I really like that dynamic. I like the supporting characters. I really like Saul, played by Jung-jae. I did not watch Squid Game, so I'm not familiar with his work, but I really like his sort of reserved, laid back approach to being a Jedi. Like, I feel like, and we see some of his backstory, he's seen some shit and he's developed into this Zen warrior who obviously is a badass and can handle himself, but is very like copacetic, like, hey, let's see how this plays out. Let's see where we can go. And what's nice is he was the one that found and rescued Osha when her village burned down, and that's where we theoretically thought May had passed away. And he was the one that rescued Osha. He was the one that trained Osha and basically became her master, his Padawan. Really cool dynamic. So when it came to them meeting again, he believed her, whereas most people didn't. Um, and I should have mentioned Osha and May are played by Amandia Steinberg or Stenberg. I'm not, again, terribly familiar with her work. I saw she was in Columbiana as a kid, like 10-year-old, I think, and that is a great movie. Really enjoyed it, but I don't specifically remember her role in that. Um, then I want to go to Yord. I played by Charlie Bennett. Man, Yord seems to be like the antithesis to a Jedi as far as he is quick to react. Early on, they say Jedi doesn't pull their lightsaber unless they're willing to kill. Well, he is always pulling his lightsaber, so I guess he's always ready to kill. I want to see how this plays out. He's not the Jedi we know per se. That's one of the things that I've noticed is different with the High Republic. I know this is the tail end of the High Republic, but the High Republic definitely has different kind of Jedi than we're familiar with in the prequels, where we're obviously the end of the Republic. So it's interesting to see how that's going to play out. And I should preface this that I have not been a big fan of the High Republic to date. I started reading the books. I just could not get into it at first. I enjoyed the comic books. Maybe I'm just that guy that needs pictures with words. Don't know. I have revisited the first four books. My biggest problem, I think, is the Nihil. I just they're not that engaging to me. I'm warming up to them. I enjoyed the second time going through. But the first time, Toy lost me, wasn't interested. This time going through, I'm getting there, understanding it. So I was excited for the Acolyte to get a little more awareness of it. Again, we're not going to really see the characters from the books because it's, from what I understand, this is a little further down the line of the High Republic. But opening me to that universe is good. Really, the only actress other than the Biggie actress that I know that's in this that I've seen her work in other things is Daphne Keane. Obviously, she played X-23 in Logan. Huge fan. In this, she plays Jackie Lan. I think she is what I would see as more of a Jedi in that she's reserved, thinks it out, plans it out. I guess more of the bookworm to yours just flying off the handle. But I am curious to see where she's going to go, what role she's going to play. It's nice to see her again acting. Um, and now I've obviously we've had some spoilers here, but this is the big one. I think this is why people are angry to start because they don't understand. We get Carrie-Anne Moss right in the beginning, and she's been throughout the trailers and the promos and a big part of it. But she does not last long. And I think that is what has people wondering what's going on and what they're mad versus let's let it play out. Let's see where this goes. Let's see what happens. Again, this is a universe we're not familiar with, and it really shows May and her anger taking out Carrie-Anne Moss, Indara's the character. And honestly, it's also showing the arrogance in that Indara didn't think there was any possibility she would be taking out. And this is definitely something that goes through to the prequels in that the Jedi are arrogant assholes. I mean, they literally, and this is in The Last Jedi, they literally let a Sith Lord enter the Republic, take it over, take them down without even knowing really he was there. And I think that's why I really like as the sequel set that up. I'm sorry, the prequel set that up. And then we get to the originals and then even now the sequels where, yeah, the Jedi had to evolve. They really didn't for a long time. They kept their place here thinking that was the end all be all. Sith are gone. They've been around for thousands of generations. Well, guess what? You done messed up. They're there. You just thought you were king of the mountain and nobody was going to take your role. So that's why I'm excited to see how this plays out. There's obviously awareness that there's more than just May going around trying to kill Jedi. They are aware that there is a master involved. So I like that we're building up to a potential Sith Lord who is training her. That being said, I do miss the Legends stories, and they are canon because they've been mentioned of Darth Bane and Darth Plagueis. I would love to see where they go, and I don't know if this is something that is going to expand that. Yeah, it's not necessarily the rule of two. There are others out there that are causing problems. The two we know of as they go forward. But then again, Palpatine didn't really stick to the rule of two dedicated. Yes, you can argue and go, well, Darth Maul, then Dooku, then Anakin. But there was a lot of overlap in there. And if you read the stories and you read the comics, there is a lot of other uh, dark energies, dark Jedi that he taps into that could be considered his apprentice, but rule of two. So I'm very curious to see where this plays out. All I can say is give it a chance. And if you don't want to, fine, shut up, go away, wait for the next Star Wars thing. I'm so tired of this just toxic fandom from Star Wars. If you don't like it, that's a-okay. We don't need to get into this whole bashing. Oh, it's female leads. Oh my goodness, it's ladies running this whole Star Wars universe. It's like, who gives a crap, man? If it's a good story, it's a good story. If it's not, it's not. Let's let it play out though. At least let's see what happens before we make judgment. And that's, I guess, what's driving me nuts about it. So that being said, We have 2 episodes of The Acolyte. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.